Testing, testing. Okay, I think we are live, so let's get started. Is Bitcoin reaching a top? That's the topic of discussion today. So, firstly, I had this news. YouTuber Logan Paul released a limited edition of his NFT artwork ahead of Mayweather's fight. Basically, what happened here is Logan Paul was originally planning to fight Floyd Mayweather, and the fight got postponed till the end of February, scheduled to take place on February 27th. And basically, what happened is he was planning on fighting, he's not going to, and so he found something else to do with his time. And what he found was to buy up $2 million worth of limited edition Pokemon cards and then sell them, auction them off through the month of February, where he would also be giving everyone who won the auction um, his own personal NFT tokens. For those of you who don't know, NFT stands for non fungible token, and it is basically a limited supply digital item. So, if you're familiar with video games, you can kind of think of this as like a skin, something like you would have in Fortnite, for instance. And if you are familiar with not video games and just things in the real world, think of it as a personalized insurance policy or a deed to a house, but in a digital format. So, this is kind of big news because celebrities are starting to get more involved in not just Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, but specific crypto projects and crypto and blockchain based use cases, which in this situation is non fungible tokens. So, the reason that this could be indicating a top is last time we had a Bitcoin bull run, when we started seeing celebrities pile into Bitcoin, we had a pretty good indicator that it was the top. And in hindsight, that was like the peak of the bull market. Like middle of December 2017 was when all the celebrities were getting on board, and that was when the bull market was topping out. So now, again, seeing people like a YouTuber, Logan Paul, or other people getting into cryptocurrency and trying to sell their own NFT tokens, this could also indicate that we are topping out again. This is not necessarily my belief, but this was the news about a week ago, which I covered over on TikTok, and I uploaded that here as well. And then we also have new news now just a day ago. Lindsay Lohan has tweeted Bitcoin to the moon, and celebrities are actually piling into Bitcoin as well. So we do have a lot more high profile people getting onto the Bitcoin bus, so to speak, as Elon Musk added it to Tesla's balance sheet, and other companies are rumored to be considering this as well. Apple is a big name that is rumored to be considering this and looking at offering crypto services to its customers, as well as Oracle. So those are two pretty big companies, and if they put just a fraction of what is on their current balance sheet into Bitcoin, similar to Tesla, to hedge against inflation, because we all know that the Federal Reserve has been printing a lot of money over the past year to combat the global pandemic. And specifically, we have printed more money in the past year than any year ever, and the total circulating money supply has increased by 20%. So 20% of all the money in existence was made in this past year. So that's not really a sustainable practice, and a lot of people in high places are recognizing this, like Tesla and Elon Musk, and now several celebrities. And so that is part of the reason that people are getting into Bitcoin. And part of the reason as well is that people are just buying into the hype. And when people are buying in for legitimate reasons like Tesla and Elon Musk, and starting to accept Bitcoin as a form of payment, that is a good thing, because that is going to increase adoption. That is people who kind of know what they're doing getting on board. But when you start seeing just general celebrities, tweeting to the moon, it's not necessarily as good for long-term growth and adoption. It's kind of turns it into a hype train kind of thing, and these people aren't necessarily as interested in the underlying technology or the use. It's just kind of viewed as everyone else is doing it, or let's all get rich quick scheme. So that could be more dangerous and more likely to indicate a top. Whereas before we had Logan Paul actually using an applied use case for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Um, his is NFT artwork, which is a blockchain native asset. These other people are just kind of buying into Bitcoin. So this is another sort of warning sign or red flag. But I wanted to take another minute to talk about what is likely to come of this, because while this did previously indicate a top, we didn't previously have this level of institutional adoption. We've seen banks and institutions like JP Morgan and Chase, and now MasterCard is saying it's going to start offering crypto services to its customers. This was just a day or two ago. PayPal already allows US users to buy and sell cryptocurrency. Square and Square's Cash App lets you buy cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, and even send it to your own private wallet. So we have a lot more big institutional adoption of Bitcoin at this time. So it's a lot more stable growth, I believe, than we saw in previous bull cycles. The other thing to note is that typically whenever you have a bull cycle, retail starts jumping on board, and when retail is jumping on board, they are a good indicator of the peak. And so one way to kind of watch for retail is what celebrities are tweeting about, as we saw here, Lindsay Lohan and others. But another way is to look at what everyday people are actually searching for, and a really neat tool to do this that's kind of a no-brainer but also surprising is Google Trends. And the reason we use Google Trends is because you know that there was a Bitcoin bull run. Let's actually see if I can pull this up. There were two previous Bitcoin bull runs that we can sort of measure against, and they were in 2013 and 2017. So let's go back to, let's say, 2015. Let's go back here. So in 2015, or this is to look at the 2013 chart, we had our first big major Bitcoin bull run after people were more on board, where the price kind of had a double top, a double peak, so to speak. This first peak was in April of 2013, and then our second peak, if I recall correctly, was December, November of 2013. So keep in mind those dates, and let's go back to Google Trends. What you saw is not very much search interest, and then April of 2013, we had 8 out of 10, and this has been normalized, so it's smaller, so it's hard to see from the giant run in 2017 where it was normalized to that being 100. But back here, it was a search interest volume on Google Trends of 8. And the closest thing we had was in the 2011 run, which was basically right after Bitcoin was founded, where we had a 3 interest. So we had very low search interest, and then we got up to 8, which was at the time, what is that, like almost 3 times as much as the previous all-time high of retail search interest. And then we had that pullback, which we just showed and talked about, where double top, where you had a top over in April, and then it fell down, what is that, like $85 down from 200, so like over 50%, like 60% pullback, and then bounced back up to 1200, and that was in December of 2013. So if we go back to our Google Trends, we see that April peak in 2013, and then that descent, and then peaking back up in December 2013 to a search interest of 12. So that set a new high relative to where we were at the time, which was at that point 8. But previously to that, the highest point we had was 3. So this was 3 times as high, as much retail search interest as we'd previously seen, and then the next one brought it all the way up to 4 times as high as we'd previously seen. And then the interest kind of tapered off and just was sort of way down here, like 2, 3, not very much. And then it started increasing, and within not too long, let's see, this is May of 2017, And keep in mind the market peaked. You can see where on the red chart here, you can see where the actual price was. So the actual price peaked around December of 2017. After that, the next big bull cycle. And so in May of 2017, we were finally reaching the same level of retail search interest as we saw way back here in 2013. So May of 2017, which meant we had, what is that, May to December? That's like 6 months of bull run left where we set new all-time highs in the retail interest. And we're seeing retail interest spike here. As you can see, let's just look at the past 5 years. Just looking at the past 5 years, you see this kind of spike up from the 2017 run. And we're not even at that level yet. We kind of got up there in the beginning of January, middle of January, fell back down quite a bit end of January. Now that Tesla has publicly announced that they were buying Bitcoin, it's spiking back up again. But this is nowhere near what we had way over here during the 2017 bull run. And as you saw, the 2013 run, which had even less people on board, we were hitting that peak at that time again 6 months before the actual peak of the bull market. So we're not even at that basically warning flag that's like, okay, we're about 6 months away from the bull market, because we haven't even reached as much retail search interest as we did in 2017. So this is kind of a big reason that even though we're seeing a lot of celebrities like Lindsay Lohan piling into Bitcoin and tweeting about Bitcoin, I think that because we have a lot more institutional adoption this time, it is a much more sustainable level of growth. And so while this may have normally indicated a top, I don't think that that's necessarily what we're looking at now. So always remember to do your own research and make your own decisions with this. You should always be managing your risk based on your personal financial situation and never invest more than you are willing to lose. That being said, if you did get some value from this or you found it useful, please do hit that like button, subscribe. I don't have any premium account access or anything. It's just all right here, all free. So just hit that subscribe bell button and then notifications and select all. That way you're informed as soon as I go live or as soon as I post another update. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this useful. I hope I have dispelled some of that FUD about celebrities piling in. But that's pretty much it I've got for now. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you